Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. We have another great one-shot for you, What's in the Cellar? It was written by John Hook, and this will be the second time we have run this. So, without any further delays, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Today is March 2nd, 1929. The long shadows of the New York City skyscrapers stretch out across the landscape, and the busy people scurry in the canyons below, still dressed in heavy coats to fend off the end of winter. Your cab drops you off in front of the Revelier building on West 26th Street in Chelsea. The elevator swiftly takes you up to the 17th floor, the law offices of Blackwood and Klein. You move past windows stretching floor to ceiling, giving you great views of the city. You are ushered into the office of Joseph Klein, where he greets you warmly and asks you to take a seat. Then his face becomes gravely serious. Gentlemen, thank you for coming. As you are aware, Arthur Blackwood is facing the electric chair. I'm trying to negotiate a lifetime prison sentence, but the outlook is pretty bleak. It may be possible to prove that he was not in his right mind. I don't trust the abilities of the civil authorities to thoroughly find all the evidence needed in this case. So I need to ask your assistance in this matter. Up until 2 days ago, Arthur has been unresponsive. He still is mostly, but I was able to record a conversation with him. He has been babbling on and on about something haunting the Whitehall cabin. Here, let me play it for you. And he reaches for a odd-looking metal box on the table in front of him.
What do I hear?
Just speak into the box.
Okay. I'm not sure who's going to receive this message. I'm hoping that it's one of my friends or relatives. Please, you must help me. I can't explain it. I never believed any of the stories, for they were too fantastic to be real, but the Blackwood family line is both blessed and cursed. There's a kind of a genie, like in the old stories. There's a genie that lives in the cellar of the family cabin, but it's there. It's controlled apparently by a ring, a family ring. I had the ring. It was passed down to me. I didn't know. I didn't know any of this. It's old family legends, but I had the ring, and there was so much blood. There was so much. I must have dropped it. I think in the cellar. Oh, but please find my ring, and prove to the police that the thing in the cellar, the genie. Please, prove to them that it exists. Please, I implore you. I don't want to be executed. I don't want to. I'm innocent. I didn't kill my wife. It was the genie. I don't know why, but I lost the ring. Find my ring. It's the only thing that can prove my innocence. I don't know what to do.
Clearly, Arthur's is unhinged here.
Yes, that's exactly what I've been thinking. He's obviously lost his mind. Now, I've known Arthur for many years. He is a partner in this firm. I can't imagine him murdering his wife and then faking madness. It's been nearly 8 months since the murder, and he hasn't said a word before now. I feel he is profoundly disturbed, but we just don't know what we can do in this case. I'm hoping that the four of you can turn something up. As you probably know from the newspaper clipping, actually, I can show you that. Why don't I show you the newspaper clipping? It says it as well as I can. Here you go. Mr. Clark, why don't you read this for us?
Oh, sure. From the New York Herald, July 20th, 1928. Grisly Whitehall murder. Prominent New York attorney Arthur Blackwood was arrested yesterday and charged with the murder of his wife, Rose Blackwood, in the early hours of July 19th. In the early hours of July 19th, neighbors John and Helen Turner discovered Mr. Blackwood wandering the countryside near his family vacation cabin located in Whitehall, New York. It is reported that Mr. Blackwood was disoriented and unresponsive and was covered in blood. The Turners alerted the Washington County Sheriff, who subsequently contacted the New York State Police. An immediate investigation revealed a large quantity of blood in the cellar. The property was searched, but the body of Rose Blackwood could not be found. It is assumed that Mr. Blackwood had murdered his wife and disposed of her body. When questioned about his wife's whereabouts, Mr. Blackwood remained silent. He is currently being held at Washington County Jail awaiting trial.
Oh, you can see that that's about 8 months ago. Get it.
Geez, you're really behind the 8 ball on this one. Do you need us to see if there's anything that could get him off the hook, or do you need us to find something that gets him off the hook? If you know what I'm saying.
Like I say, I'm trying to reduce his sentence. I don't want him to be killed. Whether I believe that he did it or not, and he may have simply snapped and murdered her. I'd like it to be that he wasn't in his right mind.
Do you need to find something of that nature, regardless of?
I don't know. I don't trust what the police and the previous detectives did.
Yes, they seem awfully eager to execute him. I mean, they didn't even find her body
or a murder weapon, for that matter.
Like
they didn't even find a murder weapon?
No.
So it's pretty powerful. I'm sure there was something going on behind the scenes there with those Carnegies. They want something that happens.
The prosecution wants blood, if I may be so bold.
I can't believe a jury would pass this through without conclusive evidence, all the way to a death sentence. This seems over the top here.
Well, I do have a photograph I can show you from the crime scene, and he hands you a photograph that shows basically a fairly small cellar, and there is blood splattered across the ground and up the wall and on the shelving and stuff like that. You can see there's enough blood here that it could be from a human being being murdered. In any case, here's a map on how to get to the place. It's up in Washington County. Here's a key to the cabin. The police are done with their investigation, so you shouldn't be disturbed. But here's a letter granting you access to the property and a court authority to investigate, just in case the locals want to know why you're there. It's only because I still love Arthur that I'm even entertaining his request to search the house and the cellar for anything that might help to mitigate the charge. But I think that we have to do everything that we can in this case.
Oh, certainly.
Well, I apologize. I'm not sure I know you gentlemen.
Dr. Pennyworth, Alex Pennyworth, psychologist.
I call it Ashton Clark. I'm distant relative of Mr. Blackwood.
Oh, hello. I'm Archibald Hughes. I'm a friend of Arthur's. There's no way he did this.
I'm William Rumsberger. You can just call me Bill if you want. I'm just the hired dick for the attorney over here.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Rumberg.
Well, glad to we
Pleasure.
got somebody with the the proper skill set for this with us.
Well, I think that you're all properly motivated, at least in some way, to see if you can find anything that the police missed. And my guess is you will.
Yeah.
The police like to have quick solve. Nobody else was around for miles. It must have been him.
It
Case
makes it
closed.
easy. Makes it easy.
Well,
And-
it's about 2 weeks to the trial. So we've got some time.
How long ago again was this incident and today? What's
8
the-
months.
About 8 months. Yeah. It's taken that long for them to go through the channels. He's been locked up in jail. And the public is crying for, I keep saying crying for blood. It seems to be a lot of blood involved in this case. In any case, gentlemen, that's all I need. It should take you about an hour and a half to drive up there.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Klein.
You all have a good day. All right.
You too.
So I'll give you guys the opportunity at this point, if there's anything that you want to take with you. You don't have anything that we normally associated with your profession, you would have with you that you would carry around.
Including a
So,
typewriter?
got one of those little mini typewriters.
You know, carrying your stuff.
Pocket.
Sketch
one
pad,
of
survey
those-
equipment.
One of those portable typewriters, the briefcase.
But
One bob.
it might be one of those portable, because you'll want to write this all up.
Yeah.
So I'll take my typewriter with me.
I think a camera might be useful. Bring that. I would like to, as everybody leaves, since I have a working relationship here with the attorney, to hang back.
Okay.
Listen, I know you think the police might have missed something, and you might not be responsible. But if we don't find anything, do you want us to come back with that answer, or do you need us to make something up?
I think if that's the answer, that's the answer.
Because I'm sure we can find somebody to hang this on. It just make
Yeah,
sure it's reflected in my paycheck, if you know what I'm saying.
Mr. Blackwood and I have been in business together for quite a while, and despite the reputation that some lawyers might have, we're more concerned with the truth than we are with winning the case.
Okay.
It's an ethic Mr. Blackwood's always had. That's why I say I find it so hard to believe that he could ever commit a crime. He's very wealthy, successful, happily married. The times that I've met his wife, they seem perfectly suited to one another.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'll do what we can.
all right, thank you. And with that, you all leave. We don't even have to worry about how you're going to get there. We also have a car. You all go together. It takes about an hour and a half for you to drive up to the property. You're going into the Whitehall area. It's a fairly wealthy nature reserve area. There are a few houses, probably the closest house to Blackwood's estate would be a mile away at least. And all of these people are wealthy. These are summer cabins and things like that. And indeed, it was the middle of the summer when Mr. Blackwood and his wife came here to spend a few days. The cabin, as you're parking on the property, there's still a little bit of snow hanging around. in the corners here and there, dirty snow under the trees. But for the most part, there's little wildflowers popping up out of the grass. It's a one-story building. It's not a huge place. It's a cabin. But it looks in good condition. The ground's still a little bit wet and soggy from the rains and the snow. As you are walking up towards it, I would like Mr. I forget which one of you is the detective. William, you're the detective. William, do a spot hidden roll.
That's a pass. Hold on.
Okay.
That's
So you're
a hard success.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So you're all walking up towards the front, and Mr. Rumsberger, you notice something a little odd over towards the side of the cabin. There is a large old tree stump that was obviously cut down years and years ago. And it, from its position and from the things around it, you can tell this is probably used to chop wood. And what especially strikes you is that there is a piece of wood on top of the stump standing straight up, all by itself. There's also a pile of wood right next to the stump that's sort of haphazardly there. But then there's also wood stacked up against the house.
Hey, boys, check this out over here. Does it look like, based on the snow and any kind of dirt, that this has been here for a while, or does it look like it's been freshly cut? If I pick up the piece of wood and sniff it, does it smell? Do I smell the fresh scent of the chopped wood?
No, it looks like it might have been sitting there on top of the stump all winter.
Is there an axe nearby?
Say that again.
An axe nearby?
You got a hard roll. You're looking around, and on the ground, lying partly buried a little bit in the snow, is an axe. Two-hand axe for chopping wood. It's just lying randomly on the ground next to the stump. You reach down for it, and as you pick it up, there's something very unusual about the axe itself. It looks like this. You can see that there is a large hole. Well, it's not that large. It's only about a half an inch around, that goes right through the blade of one side. And there seems to be a gouge that goes down it. The more you look at it, the more it almost looks like it's been melted through.
Goodness.
It doesn't look like it's been cut or broken or cracked. It literally looks like it's melted right through the metal, something.
Anybody got any ideas on how this hole got here? I'll show it to them.
It's a very odd thing to do to an axe. Definitely, I would assume it's gonna undercut its effectiveness. Though,
And it also doesn't look like a new hole.
It looks,
I'm sorry, it doesn't look like a new hole. It looks like it's been there for a while. It's kind of uniformly rusted. Of course, that could be the winter, just laying out all winter.
Well, I'll take a picture of it, and I don't know, you boys got anything else?
I'm trying to think through my studies in anthropology. There's just nothing I can think of of any motivation that anybody's ever had for doing something like this to an axe. It's very strange.
That's outside of my wheelhouse.
Could it have been intentional for maybe a cord or something to carry it for?
Yeah, like a butcher's knife, like a cleaver.
Yeah, but to melt it.
Yeah,
to
and
melt,
it's not regular.
Yeah, and you would want to put something like a hole to carry on a cord in the handle,
Oh.
not
Oh,
in the,
yeah, I suppose that makes
not
sense.
on the cutting edge of the blade here. This is, I don't know, the evenness of this hole too. I mean, it's almost like they took a hot like steel rod and just forced it through almost. Melted a hole right through it. Very, very bizarre, but I mean, that recording.
Ashton, do an idea roll.
Ooh, starting off not so great. But I'll spend the luck.
Okay. It's actually not as quite round as you thought that it was. It couldn't have been done by a drill. And like I say, all of the edges, there's no sharp edge. It's almost as if something extremely hot was on this thing and just melted a hole sort of oddly through it.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. This wasn't done with a tool. It's just some heat source, some high heat source was just placed on this and left, and it melted its way through.
Could it have been a defect in the steel and it just rusted through over the winter?
No, this isn't. I mean, if you can look at the rust on the other parts of the blade, it's not eating all the way through. This is definitely heat damage.
Well, Mr. Rumberger, where did you say you found this axe?
Just it was right here next to the pile of wood.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay. Well, look around. Let's maybe look around. Is there any indication of an intense heat around underneath this snow? Just sort of look around in that area.
There is not.
yeah, I mean with the piece of wood here on top of the cutting stump, and the pile right next to it. I mean, it looks like whatever he was doing, he stopped. Whatever happened right here, and he dropped the axe, or whoever was using it. This looks like somebody was interrupted.
Do any of you think this has anything to do with our assignment?
It just doesn't. I mean, this doesn't look like a murder weapon, but it is. It would be odd to be chopping wood and then pause in the middle of doing that to go kill your wife, right?
I'm not a subject expert on this.
He was chopping the wood. I mean, I don't know many dames that would do that, but
I think it's still pertinent to look at what's around in the surroundings. He's got quite a tall tale there recorded. So anything unusual that might be able to piece this puzzle together. This is definitely unusual.
If you look around the rest of the yard, nothing really seems out of place.
Does the cabin structure look at all like it could have been broken into from any place? Anything look sort of damaged and then just recently repaired in the last 8 months?
You don't see anything like that. And reputation-wise, this area out here is pretty crime-free. A few rich people living in. That's why it was such an overblown incident.
Yeah.
People in New York murder each other, but not in upstate New York, in the woods.
In the different New York.
There's no jails or prisons or anything around here. No mental asylums where some crazy lunatic could have escaped. Yeah, that's all.
What about wild gorillas on the loose?
Yeah, not
in
New York. Maybe in Connecticut, but not here. In any case, you guys walk up to the front door. You have a key. You open up the front door, and you are immediately assaulted by the smell of rotting meat.
It seems like the
Oh goodness, that's awful. I'll push through and go to like a window and try to open it.
Okay, you can do that. The cabin is not particularly large. But there is a sort of a great room, and then next to it, there's what's probably a bedroom and bathroom, an actual indoor bathroom in a cabin. And then there's a door leading into the kitchen. You're pretty sure the smell is coming from the kitchen. It's also becomes very obvious that nobody's been in here for 8 months because there's kind of a uniform dust on everything.
Yeah, the ice chest probably wasn't cleared out, and that's all melted away.
I'm gonna
So-
and take my fingernail and kind of scratch on the inside of the drains to see if I see any blood or hair or anything.
Nope, nothing like that.
Okay. Well, at least he, if it was him, he wasn't trying to cover his tracks and wash himself off.
Where is this smell coming from?
We'll go to
I
the-
don't know. I haven't found it yet.
Is there a direction to it?
Yeah,
The
it seems
kitchen?
like it's probably coming from the kitchen.
All right,
Yeah,
well, let's go.
go to the ice chest first. I'll go head right there and kind of
Right.
take a towel and lift it open.
You step into the kitchen, and the smell is coming from a half chopped up chicken on the countertop. Detective Rumberger, do an idea roll. That's good.
That's a fail.
Okay. It looks like there's a mess in the kitchen. There's stuff that's rotted on top of the table.
So they were in the middle of dinner when this happened. You know, preparing
Well,
dinner.
maybe, I mean,
Well-
maybe she was in here making dinner or something, and he was out there chopping wood, and something happened.
That's exactly what it looks like. Like she was in the process of making breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's probably lunch or dinner.
Are there any broken windows, or does it look like the the latch on the door has been forced or anything like that? I mean, this neighborhood, they probably wouldn't lock it.
There is not. Everything looks like it's been pretty much the way that you'd expect it to be if it was just a plain old friendly cabin. There's evidence that they had arrived. They might have actually even been here for a day or two. And then something happened. And I'll say that you search the rest of the cabin and you find nothing of any significance. However, there is one final door in the kitchen that opens to a pantry, and in the pantry is a little, it's like halfway between a ladder and a stair going down into the cellar, which is dark.
And we didn't find the ring anywhere else in the house up here.
No,
They said that he lost.
Yeah,
Wait,
he
but-
mentioned it.
Now,
Yeah,
if none of you gentlemen object, I'm going to toss this chicken out into snow.
Yeah, it smells like the trenches.
Oh yes, please do.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Well, he said in the recording that it was lost down there somewhere in the cellar. He thought. I suppose we could start there.
Oh yes, the ring and all the
Is there anything?
blood.
Did any of you boys bring a lantern or a torch or anything?
I have one out in the car.
All right, I'll go grab it. Anybody else need anything out there?
No, I mean, if there's
Aside
some-
from fresh air, I might join
Yeah.
Yeah, you sussed out my ruse there. I'll be right back.
I look around for like a circuit box or a fuse box. Is there anything that I can find that might indicate there's some lights down there?
no. In fact, there's no electricity in the cabin.
Oh, it's
They
electricity.
had kerosene lamps.
Oh, okay.
Are there any about?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the time it takes Bill to get back with my flashlight, I'm gonna just light a couple of those lamps for the rest of us.
Okay. Also, it's pretty cold. It's still March, so the temperature is probably in the 40s. You guys are, of course, dressed appropriately for it.
I mean, if we're here, I mean, if this search starts taking too long, we might have to start the fire
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah.
There's plenty of wood outside.
Is there dry wood inside?
Oh, yes, there is.
Oh, good. All right. And we just find the one lantern inside? And
No, there's probably a couple of them. There's one
Okay.
hanging up in the kitchen. And
Well, no one objects. I'll take the second one then.
okay. So eventually William comes back, unless he was going to do something else. And Archie.
Well, let's make for the cellar there. I'll head down.
Yeah.
All right. So you head down the steps. I'd like each of you, well, first of all, I want to know who's going down first, second, third, and fourth.
I'll go first. I don't mind.
Definitely fourth.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, fifth, if that's an option.
Archibald, let me tell you. Okay, I write books on the occult, and let me assure you there are no such thing as genies. You'll be fine.
It's not the genie I'm worried about. It's the blood. Ugh.
No, unfortunately, blood is very real.
I'll
Yes,
go in the back.
I don't have
I'll
a
go
stomach for these
third.
things.
Okay. So as you head down, you see the layout. Here's the layout of the cellar. You're coming down the steps down towards the bottom. There are boxes. There is a wine rack directly across from you. There are shelves, and then to your left, you can see the cellar turns a corner and goes farther in.
You have anything good in the wine cellar?
There are a number of bottles in the wine cellar. They look dusty. Looks like some good years, some good vintage, untouched.
Are these stairs, or is this more of a ladder?
It's almost vertical going down, but it's not quite vertical. So actually, I didn't do it, but I was going to have you all do dex rolls just to see if you missed stuff going down. But I think that you're all pretty careful.
As somebody who has 45 decks, I appreciate that, Tom.
Yeah.
With that dex roll I just did, I came down 6th.
Okay.
Archibald, if we fall, we'll catch you. It's fine. It's not that far down.
I'm worried about getting a splinter. These stairs are awful.
Are there any books to hang lanterns on?
Archie, there are not, but there are shelves. Archie, do an architecture. Is there architecture? Is that actually on?
I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you the closest thing here. Yeah, the architect does not have anything called architecture.
Okay, so idea roll. You should actually fix that sheet.
Nope. That's Phil.
Okay.
I am.
Well, then the most you can tell is that the foundation is older than the building above it.
Oh. Is that a crushed shell floor?
It is, in fact, a crushed shell floor. You can see the little bits and pieces of shell, but it's not that unusual. Probably from a clam factory or something in New England. It's a good floor covering.
Oh, this is going to be
it's kind of an older style.
But you're saying that so the property above us is new, and this is old.
It's not that new. The house style looks like it's probably colonial, so it could be 1700s when it was built.
Okay, so this is all of this is old then.
Right.
Okay.
Trying to find a ring in this is going to be very difficult.
And in the shell, well, hey, look, I mean,
I'm assuming it's crushed shell mixed in with concrete.
No, probably crushed shell and some gravel. It's quite
loose.
Okay,
so it's like loose.
It's loose, right?
All right, so yeah, then that would be a pain in the butt.
We're hearing crunch, crunch as we walk.
In fact, Archie, do another intelligence roll.
When we're finished here, I don't think anybody's going to miss this 87.
Failed.
Failed again. Okay.
I am
Oh.
very intelligent.
All right. So you guys get down onto the floor, and Detective Rumsberger, why don't you do a intelligence roll? A spot hidden. Spot hidden.
It's going to be close. That's a fail.
Okay. You know you can use luck if you want to.
Oh yeah, this is a one shot. Yeah, let's burn it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna burn 10 luck.
Okay. At first, something seems wrong about the cellar, and you're not exactly sure what it is. But the more you think about it, it's not deep enough. The roof supports for the house, they seem too close to your head. You look over and you notice that the wooden ladder going down into the basement actually goes down into the flooring, down into the crushed shell. You notice that the shelves around the sides also go down into the shell. You're not seeing like a firm foundation, as if this floor is deeper than what you think that it is.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a creek nearby. You know, maybe there was some flooding. Looks like they had to raise the floor on here.
Is there like a shovel or anything like that down here? That
Well, you haven't. You're still standing right at the bottom of the stairs, so you haven't really.
Oh, sorry. I'm still admiring the wine. I'll move out of everybody's way.
Yeah, I'll walk deeper into this with the lantern.
All right. 10 more feet in, and you can see down to the end, around the corner. Do a spot hidden, Dr. Pennyworth.
42 on a 35. No. Wait, what's my luck? Oh no, I don't have much luck. All right.
Okay. There seems to be, you can see shelves going down to the end, you can see boxes. You can see the floor, the ceiling. There's cobwebs, but not a tremendous amount of cobwebs. Everybody else do spot hiddens.
Hold the phones. I passed a roll. Regular success.
Aw, man, way to break a streak there, bud.
Nope, that's a fail.
Fail.
All right.
I could spend 1 point of luck to make it a hard success.
No, it's okay. So Ashton, you're standing there and you're looking around and you suddenly blurt out, where's the blood? There doesn't seem to be a big blood stain. And from the photograph that you saw, it should be sort of right there in the crux corner of the thing. There was blood all over the place.
Yeah, I'll go over. I'll shift the shelves around. Like, was it covered up? Are there other shelves underneath that blood?
Nothing.
What?
Though you do sort of notice that the shelf flooring kind of goes pretty deep. You dig down at least 3 or 4 inches and it's still just shelf flooring going down, but there's no blood. You passed your spot hidden though, and as you look around, you do notice blood, but there's some splashes of blood on the boxes, and there's some splashes on the shelving and the wall, but nothing on the floor.
Not on the floor.
Well, maybe they cleaned up the floor and just put new shell in there.
Well, maybe, but Bill, what do you make of this?
I don't know. I can't imagine that the coppers would have wanted to damage the scene. If in case of an appeal or anything like that, and they like to bring the juries out to look at the scene of the crime, really to drive it home. Any DA or lead detective wouldn't have tampered with the scene like this. Does it look like, take a look around, boys. Does it look like any of these, the dust on the shelves have been disturbed or anything? I mean, does it look like there's a section of the floor or anything that has been moved?
All right. The floor looks pretty even all the way down through the structure. But since you guys are sort of searching around the cellar now, why don't you all do regular? Just do spot hiddens. Tell me what you guys did.
Ooh,
Oh, there's a success.
007.
Back to the failing.
I have a success.
That's a regular success for me as well.
Okay,
That's
regular
an
for Archie.
extreme here.
Regular for Archie. Regular for William.
And I'm looking at wine again, apparently.
Well, Ashton, all you're finding is, you're finding jams and jellies and preserves and things that have been probably sitting down here for years. Some of them have dates on them. You're not sure if they'd be any good anymore. Maybe some of the jams would be, but the vegetables
How
probably
old
not.
are those jams there? How
A
far
couple of
off?
years.
Okay.
William, roll an 8-sided dice for me. You too, Archie.
4.
1.
All right. Archie, you find 3 pairs of old leather gloves. And Archie, you find an old box full of trinkets and things like that. Dr. Alexander, you find an old cavalry sword. Looks like it's still in pretty good condition.
My goodness. What is this?
That's a beauty.
It's an old cavalry sword.
Huh. Fancy that.
I found a box with some knickknacks.
Well, I found the best find of all. This is strawberry jam from 1923, and next to it is some grape jam from 1922.
Oh, I love strawberry jam.
If you see anything from the 1800s, you probably shouldn't eat it.
Yeah, well, if I see jam from the 1800s,
it probably belongs on that shelf over there.
yeah.
And I point to the wine rack.
So William, as you are looking at this box with things in it, the first thing that catches your eye is colorful. It looks like there's an old painting. It's not very large, maybe 9 inches by 12 inches. And you pull it out, and it looks like a very old painting.
Any of you bookish types recognize this fella?
Magi, Magdy, Milton Blackwood.
No, I only speak English.
I mean,
I can't read Latin.
I would assume that Magi, Magni, has something to do with magicians. Can I make an occult roll for this?
Sure.
I don't speak Latin, but I do know quite a deal about the occult. So this title might. Ooh, that's an 11. That's an extreme success.
Yes. Magi Magni is great magician.
Great magician.
Look at the last name on this, boys.
And it's
Milton Blackwood.
1731.
I wonder if he's wearing the same family signet ring that
yeah, that could be the case.
Arthur was talking about. No, there's been something. The Blackwoods have historically been quite lucky individuals. Almost magic, one could say, how successful they've been. That's kind of cute little portrait they have down here. I wonder why it's down here though and not displayed somewhere else.
Is there anything on the back of it written?
No.
Let's see what else is in this box.
There are other various things in the box. There are bits of jewelry. Looks like all very old things, probably from the late 1700s. There's a little you'd almost guess like a pillbox or something like that, and a few other trinkets.
In there?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You shake the box. Is there anything in there?
Well, it's a wooden box. Yeah, you shake the box, and a small journal falls out, and a scrap of paper. What do you want to look at first?
I think I'll, hey, are you done with those jams over there? Do you want to take a look at this journal? And I'll look at the scrap of paper.
Oh,
Figure,
thank you. I mean, as much as I like looking at preserves,
I mean, we got
definitely
this,
prefer journals.
we got this wizard type here in the painting. You know, I'm sure there's some kind of ridiculous notions in the journal.
I have something to call.
rudimentary.
I'll take a look at it.
All right.
I have a rudimentary knowledge of Latin, so if you run across any of
Oh,
that.
well, that's good to know. If I do need anything, I'll let you know, Doc.
All right. Ashton, as you are looking at the journal, you realize that it is dated 1725 and that it is the journal of Milton Blackwood, the guy in the painting. You start to read through it, and you realize that he was going through a period where he was not having very much success in any kind of venture, but he was getting into magic and studying some of the old tomes. And he finally decided at some point that he was going to attempt to summon something. And you find this passage.
See, Amen, so set the bond and seal the accord as the agreement states, in Blackwood blood and forever after in the blood of others, that the Blackwood fortune and wealth be assured from failure and grace with prosperity. The price is not too much to ask, that we make the ritual and sacrifice the blood of Christian folk to the granting spirit, but once a year for as long as the Blackwood line continues, so sealed and impacted by our words to the thing that grants our wish, that gin of smoke and darkness that dwelleth beneath the Whitehall summer cabin. So let it be according to all words. Amen. Amen.
Oh, that's where Blackwood got this gin nonsense from, I'd say.
Yeah, that's something that's almost that amen's a perversion of amen almost. That's not almost. It seems to be.
William, the piece of paper that you find seems to be older and somewhat crumbling, but the handwriting matches Blackwood's. You pull it out and you read it.
So say J. Milton Blackwood, by the mystic powers that I have gained, I have shackled the Blackwood demon to the very ground and rendered it incapable of acting as long as a true Blackwood kin bears my ring. Sealed in the circle, it shall not escape. Bricked up, it shall not wander. But its gift remains within the Blackwood family and will continue. No longer will we offer its blood sacrifice. We have escaped its grip without injury. We have left behind the bad and kept the good. Let the ring never leave your finger. Let it pass from heir to heir at the deathbed. Precious is it to our legacy. Know this, that the thing beneath is angry that I have done this. It must never escape where the Blackwoods are doomed, for it will seek revenge. Take heed and be warned. Huh.
Sounds like
So
this.
I can see why Arthur. I mean, he lost the ring, and now this djinn that his ancestor summoned killed his wife. That's a little far fetched. I can see where he got that idea in his head.
Yeah, I can see where he gets the idea, but this still nothing's proving that he did this. I mean, if somebody else knew of this fear that Arthur had, they could have played upon it.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of if it wasn't Arthur, then who else did it? You know, like who came all the way up here? What was their motivation? That's such an interesting.
I mean, they're very wealthy. The wife was one of the Carnegies. You know, perhaps if somebody that was a rival believed in some of this hokum, maybe they tried to take the ring to sabotage the Blackwoods. You know, it doesn't matter whether or not this is real. If they believed it, then they might act on it.
Yeah,
It's true. I wonder. Well, let's try to find his ring at least. If we can't clear his name, we can at least find that thing.
So I'll head all the way to the far back and just start next to the wall and methodically start digging through like a foot of the shell at a time. Figure I gotta get it started.
Is there a shed out back or anything that I could go and grab? Is there a rake or anything in the shed or?
You didn't see a shed out back.
Okay.
However, as you're looking around, there's a couple of things that you find. You find an old shovel and a hoe. There's a hammer, and there is a baseball bat, all in amongst the junk as you're going. There's also a collection of old books.
Ooh,
Interesting.
I like old books.
Are the gloves? Are they like working gloves
Yes,
or?
they're heavy leather,
Okay. Okay.
a little old and cracked.
Why don't you toss me a set of those so don't blister my fingers? Let's get to work on this floor. Try to find that damn
Sure. Here you go.
So put them on and start digging, I suppose, or hoeing, I believe.
Yep.
What do you think, Dr. Alexander? Set up a grid. I like where your head's at.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Start that way and work your way in.
Yeah, that's good. I'll take the back right-hand corner, and I guess someone else take the back left-hand corner, and we'll start backing out.
Okay. So, Dr. Alexander, since you said it first, so you've got something you're digging. You started at the back wall.
Yep.
You quickly realize how deep the floor actually is. It's about 2 feet deep.
Wow.
Before you hit hard rock flooring. So it's a little tricky to clear because the dirt's, it's got to go somewhere.
So are there buckets or boxes like where we can maybe?
Do a luck roll. See if there's
All
something.
right,
like that
see
there.
here. And this luck of, wow, 008. I'm progressively getting higher, but still low.
Okay. Yeah, you find a box. You're not sure how tightly it's built. It might leak a little, but you could still put quite a bit of.
Yeah, we
Shell in
won't
it.
fill it halfway and move
It's
that.
yeah, it's going to be heavy anyways.
Yeah. So we don't.
Shell's pretty dense.
Did we receive a copy of the photo, or if we didn't, do I remember just looking at the crime scene? How high up was the floor? When the murder happened.
Trying to compare that in your mind, I think that you'd be able to tell. It looked exactly the same.
Okay, so it's not like somebody dumped a half ton of seashells on top here.
Right. It doesn't look like that. Although it does kind of look like it was all replaced. But who on earth would do that?
There's only the one entrance. That's the entrance that
goes up to the pantry. Yes.
Goes up to the pantry. Okay.
There's no windows.
Is it dark out yet?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is it dark yet?
No. It's light outside, but it's dark in here because there's no windows.
Okay. I think I'm gonna head out back and try to find like a big old pile of crushed seashells, along the tree line.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, everybody else is doing manual labor. I'm looking at books.
Okay.
So Alexander's the only one digging.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, he's curiously looking to see how deep the floor goes. All right. So William, you could climb back up the ladder and you step outside. Archie, what are you doing?
I'll probably be standing around watching Alexander dig.
Okay.
Nervously, but rapt, looking to see if any of the seashell has, a red tint when he starts digging.
All right. Since you're doing that, Archie, why don't you do a spot hidden?
Okay, that'll be a pass.
Okay. You're standing there and you're looking down towards Dr. Alexander when you're not sure how this happens, but when Dr. Alexander brings his hoe back or something, he must have hit something on the shelf, because flying through the air at you is a hammer. And since you spot hidden, you manage to jump out of the way just as it hits the wall behind you.
Woo! Doctor, watch where you're swinging that thing. You almost got me with a hammer.
Hammer? I'm just using this little.
You must have knocked it off the shelf or flicked it or something.
Or maybe it was the spirit of the Blackwoods. Free because no one wears the ring.
Did it seem like as I was going through it that I got anything unusual?
No, you don't remember hitting anything.
Yeah, I didn't hit anything. Yeah, it must have just maybe the vibration, something fell off the shelf.
Generally, vibrations are caused when you hit something, Doctor.
Ashton, you are looking at the books. They don't seem important, except one of them is a scrapbook, which you open up and you look at it, and there's a bunch of newspaper clippings. They seem to span quite a lot of probably way over a century, from old newspapers all forward. And I will have you read some of them. We'll start with the oldest one. Can you see that?
Washington County Fire Miracle, June 12th, 1799, Castle Creek. For the last 2 weeks, devastating wildfires have been burning throughout the Mattawee River Valley. Many homes and properties have been destroyed, but oddly, the blaze seems to have skipped over the Blackwood estates. In some cases, the fire reached to within 50 feet of their property and burned itself out. Locals could not explain this except for the continuing luck of the Blackwoods. Truly, an angel must be watching over that family.
The next one.
Influenza strikes again, 1837, New York State. The current outbreak of influenza is not the first, nor is it the last. The elderly are mostly at risk, and the death toll is devastating. In Washington County, however, 5 brave nurses are saying no to giving in. Margaret Blackwood and her 4 sisters, Penelope, Rachel, Deborah, and Donna, have dedicated themselves to the nursing profession for over 40 years. All of them are in their 60s, and all are as healthy as horses. With love and kindness, they care for their patients. We have lived through too many flu outbreaks to count, says Deborah Blackwood. We aren't stopping now. It would seem that they all possess a natural immunity to the disease. Heroes of the day, they act fiercely in the face of danger.
The next one.
Flood waters rise. Locals are evacuated. 1858, Washington County, New York. Following 5 days of torrential rain, the Mattawee River has overflowed her banks once again. Residents have been asked to evacuate as the rain is not expected to stop anytime soon. No opposition was encountered until the sheriff met with members of the Blackwood family and their kin. All of them felt confident that nothing would happen to their land or their homes, as they did not believe the waters would ever rise that high. Indeed, so far, they have not. Prosperity and Salvation from the Blackwood Estates, 1881, Washington County, New York. For the last month and a half, there has been no rain in the mountains. Crops are drying up, and fear of starvation is settling in for many homesteaders. The Blackwoods, always charitable, have begun assisting local residents by providing food from their abundant fields. It is not understood how their crops continued to be healthy, but it is suspected there may be hidden springs beneath their land that keeps the crops growing. Once again, the Blackwoods have saved their community.
And the final one.
Local man struck by lightning, 1901, Whitehall, New York. 4 young men were working on a hill in Washington County. Their goal was to remove an old apple tree on the property of Mr. Dennis Blackwood. As they worked, a storm rolled in and flashes of lightning could be seen in the distance. Mr. Blackwood's 17-year-old son, Arthur Blackwood, was raising his axe when a bolt struck him. The thunderclap sent the other 3 boys flying, their ears ringing from the sound. Somehow Arthur Blackwood was unharmed, though a half-inch hole was melted in the axe blade, and his clothing was singed from his wrist to his ankle, and a burn spot was left on the ground beside him. The 3 other boys could not believe what they had just witnessed. This reporter was able to examine the axe and believes the young men. Stranger things have happened.
I guess that explains that axe out there.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. But of course, if it was a hammer from somebody digging in clamshells, he would have been in much greater danger than a lightning strike for sure.
Dr.
Right.
Alexander, do a spot hidden.
Certainly. A 51. And 51. Oh, no, that's a terrible miss.
Okay. So you haven't found anything. You can see where the floor is, but
I got the floor.
You have
That's a
to-
good
have
2
to-
feet down here.
have to clear quite a bit. William, you went outside. You walk to the edge of the clearing where the cabin is, and you see no evidence of any piles of shell.
Nothing by the driveway that might have fallen out, when they took the wagon loads in.
No, nothing like that. Everything seems to have been here for quite a while.
Okay, well, I guess I'll head back downstairs and let the boys know. Yeah, I don't know where all these shells are coming from. Unless they picked up every single one that dropped off the back of the truck. I don't know. This doesn't make any sense to me, boys.
Well, I'm starting to worry that we're not going to be able to clear poor Arthur.
Yeah, it looks like he found the family's tall tale there and lost his mind.
Yeah, just
You
a little bit.
You can see a lot of these articles tend to kind of prop up the story. I mean, they do seem to have uncanny luck, not just once or twice, but it's just this ongoing history of it.
Yes,
Well,
that's something that's actually, it's a personal fascination of mine, Doctor. The concept of luck. I have a couple books on the subject, but the Blackwoods, since I am a relation to them, have been a personal interest of mine with their luck. I've seen some of these news clippings before in my studies. Very interesting family for sure.
Dr. Pennyworth, do a dodge roll.
67. I see no need to dodge.
All right. There is a whoosh right past your head, Ashton Clark, and a trowel goes flying across the room directly at Dr. Alexander, and it hits him. It strikes him in the shoulder. Let's see, where is it? It does 4 points of damage. Cuts right through your shirt and hits you and cuts into your shoulder. Knocks
Very
you
funny,
back.
Bill, but you threw that a little too hard.
That was 1d4, 1d6?
1d4. No, I mean, I'm sorry, I rolled. It's 4 points. 4 points.
4 points. Ow.
So you're bleeding.
Oh, God damn, that hurt like hell.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, you are bleeding.
Oh, Alexander, are you all right?
No, this just got brained with the trowel here. God.
There's nobody standing behind Ashton either. There's
Did you-
shelves behind him.
Bill. And
Why,
I'm
why
gonna,
did
like,
you
walk
throw? Why
around.
did you throw that at him?
I didn't throw it.
Well, where? Who?
I didn't think Bill was the prank playing type.
Hey, yeah, hey, boys, it wasn't me. You know, there was nobody behind him. I don't know. This is weird. Let's get you patched up, doctor.
Yeah. Ah, damn.
So
And
if there's any rags or anything like that, I'm just gonna try to, patch him up.
There's lots of dirty rags.
Yeah.
I got a handkerchief in my back pocket, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna attempt a first aid on him here.
Do a first aid. Yeah.
And that's a fail.
Yeah.
Sorry, doc.
gonna-
That's a specialty.
I'll give him some of my medicinal
Marijuana. Oh,
Medicinal.
Cocaine.
the cure for everything.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll just give him some heroin. Why not?
There's
That'll be fine.
bottles.
Opiates.
Opiate. Yeah.
I'm gonna start nervously looking around the ground for the ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
Ugh.
no evidence. The evidence is gone here. And
Doctor,
What do you say we get all these sharp objects?
Archie, as you are looking around to a spot hidden from you.
could be a hard.
Hard. All right.
That's a hard.
So you probably figure the first thing you should look around on is the shelves. And you start looking around the shelves, and you get to one of the shelves about halfway down the long part of the cellar on the left-hand side. And you notice something. You're pretty sure that the shelf is hinged in the back, so that the shelf is designed to swing outward, like there's something behind it.
Mr. Clark.
What is it, Archie?
Well, if you'll pardon the cliche, I think there's a secret door here.
What? I bound right over, dropping the books onto the clams.
Do you see those? Do you see those hinges?
My goodness, you're right. Help me move this.
Yes.
Problem is, the bottom of it is buried in 2 feet.
Alexander, are you feeling better?
I'm not too much, but I still can dig. Here, I'll
here. I guess hand me that rake or.
Here's the trowel that hit me.
No, thank you.
I'll take it.
Sure.
Only Stuart would have a shovel in his room.
I mean, you find a cavalry sword, and so of course Stuart reaches down and pulls out a cavalry sword. Shouldn't have been surprised by that.
Stuart's got a bag of holding just sitting by his desk.
Yeah.
He just stashes a bunch of shit in there.
All right.
You find a tractor from 1876, and Stuart's just like, oh, let me go.
He just drives by.
All right. So you guys are going to try and dig out the front of the shelf. I'd like you all, well, you're all standing there. I'd like you all to do luck rolls. So.
Oh boy.
I'll have you know, I spent luck, so.
Oh no. Yeah, that's a no-go.
07.
That's a natural 100. That's a critical fail there.
But, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Alexander is digging, and Archie is watching. Ashton, you're doing what you can to sort of assist.
I have a pass. So.
Archie, you're standing there. You're the more timid of the group, it would seem. As you're standing there, out of the corner of your eye, you see something move. And as you turn, you realize that there is a baseball bat, and the baseball bat is hovering in the air, and it's about to come crashing down on William's head. Do you want to do anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna back up and shriek, William, look out!
What the hell?
William, you can do a dodge roll.
They have to make sanity checks for seeing a floating baseball bat.
Yeah, I think it's about.
Obviously not. That's perfectly normal in my
Archibald circles.
in my career as an architect. I see a lot of floating stuff. It's fine.
It's part of your undergrad, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, William, couldn't hear you. What did you say?
Yeah, no, that's yeah, I'm gonna burn 5 luck to give myself a regular pass.
All right. So just as it swings, you sort of duck, and it misses you. And as it does, it just suddenly flings itself across the room. Now, from your perspective, if Archie hadn't backed up, you would have thought that he was hitting you in the head with it. But the thing just flings across the room. It hits the back wall, and it snaps in half as it does so.
I think I'm gonna roll sand. I don't know what the hell's going on.
03 is a pass. Look at that.
You can all roll sand.
Roll.
What's my sand at? Oh wow, I actually passed that. That's surprising.
Okay. If you pass, just take 1 point. If you fail, take 2.
Okay.
You're still half trying to convince yourself that it's dark down here, and you're not seeing what you think you're seeing.
I think I'm gonna.
Could there be rats? Could there be rats down here knocking things off shelves?
Rats that throw baseball bats across the room?
I'm gonna grab that sword.
Very large
Spirit
rats.
of the Blackwoods who's trapped in the ring or whatever. I'm sorry if I've offended you by making fun, but in my defense, this is pretty ridiculous.
Dr. Alexander, as you are digging, you hit something that looks less like a shell and more like a bone. And
God,
you realize that at first you think it's like a finger bone, maybe from an animal, but it's too big. And then, okay.
It's a skull.
Wait for it. You didn't find the skull yet. But I'll since you picked it up, I'll say it. You do dig a little more and you find a skull. Only the skull has bits of rotting flesh still attached to it. And you're pretty sure it's probably Rose.
oh my God.
Hmm.
Is this Rose?
Is this a sand check?
Yeah, you can do a
I'm
sand
pretty
check.
spooked.
You can do a sand check, especially because the door up above slams shut.
Oh, I'm at 80. Yep, that's a fail.
Somehow I pass it.
1d4 if you fail. Well, you're a doctor. You've seen skulls before.
He's a doctor of psychology. He better not be looking at people's skulls.
He's got skulls all over his office.
Well, he's an alienist, so yeah, he probably has.
He believes in chronology.
So 1 point for passing.
Yeah, 1 point for passing.
I lost 2
1d4.
points.
God, this might be Rose. And I'm guessing it looks fresh, like 8 months fresh, not like it's dusty and crumbly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Moist still.
Well, there's no moisture to it, but it's the desiccated flesh that's still
8 months fresh, huh? That's an odd way to
and 2
phrase that.
feet down.
Yeah, just like the chicken.
Who shut the door?
Maybe the wind blew it shut. This is horrible. We've got to. This is important news.
This we've found evidence.
Still doesn't make Arthur innocent, but we've found the body at least.
Yeah, what's behind this? I want to know what's behind the shelf. Maybe the murder weapon's back there.
I think we still need to dig a little more. How close?
We may need to get the authorities to help us with this. If not,
Blackwood, though. You know, if there is anything that's going to clear them, we got to find it before we call the cops.
Yeah.
You know, they're just going to use the final nail.
It may incriminate us.
I'm glad that the law enforcement professionals were so thorough that they failed to dig like 1.5 feet down in clams.
Yeah, that's also disturbing. I'm gonna go get some air.
As Archie is standing there before he goes to get some air, with his mouth covered because he's grossed out, you hear Archie say, "You know, we're all going to die down here." Except Archie, you didn't say it.
Archie, we're not going to die. Just go open the hatch. You'll be fine.
So do I hear my voice say that?
Yeah, you heard your voice say that, but your mouth was closed.
Did it come from where Archie is standing?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say that.
Very, very funny. There's a body here, Archie. Now's really not the time for this kind of joke.
I'm an architect, not a ventriloquist.
Your mouth is covered.
I didn't say. Oh, I can smell it.
It's okay. Go get some fresh air.
Everybody do listen rolls.
89. I hear the crunch, crunch, crunch of clamshells.
Yeah, you hear me scrunching my way away.
This is awesome. 002. That's 3 00s in one game. I've never had luck like this before.
That's a fail.
Nope, that's a fail. I hear myself scrunching away.
So the three of you are kind of freaked out about Archie as Archie's getting ready to go. And Dr. Alexander, as you're standing there, you suddenly look up and you can hear something big and heavy being dragged across the floor over towards the pantry door.
There's something big. Someone's upstairs moving something big towards us.
Oh, we can't let him.
Yeah, let's
Cover the
go
door.
up that ladder.
Quickly, go prop the door up.
And Archie, by the time you get to the door, it's blocked by something.
The door's blocked. Can someone else try to move this?
Here. No, maybe this
grab the
is a
shovel,
way
use
out.
it away.
Maybe this is a secret passageway, Archie. Here, let's move this. We got to move the shelf.
Sure.
Okay. Those of you who are still digging, do another spot hidden.
There we go.
It's my turn to roll a 002.
Well, nice.
Okay.
Heavy faith.
You're finding more bones. You're pretty sure her whole body is down here, rotting.
Gross.
It's pretty gross. It seems to be partly crumpled up near the front end of the shelf that you're trying to move. So you'll have to move her to move the shelf.
At that point, we're moving it. I'm moving it.
Yeah, I'll move her up, helping, diving right in with that.
All right.
This hack I've got in me hurts like
I'll have you do sanity rolls, but you'll only take 1 point of damage if you fail.
Oh, fail.
So she's partly falling.
And there's not a ring on any of the fingers, conveniently. No. I failed, so that's 1 point.
Right.
One.
Archie, do a dexterity roll.
Boy. Gonna go out on a limb there. Yep, that is definitely a fail.
All right. You're pretty frightened. You're at the top of the ladder trying to push the door open. Something grabs a hold of your foot. You can feel it sink its teeth into your leg, and you teeter and fall backwards off the ladder onto the floor. The rest of you do spot Hiddens as you hear him fall and scream.
Ow! Ooh, ah!
And is an 86, which is very, very much a failure.
That's a
Wait.
hard success.
Is that a positive, Will?
Yeah, hard success. Yes.
Okay. Will, you can see something that looks like a black snake coming from underneath the ladder that has, it looks like it's grabbed a hold of his leg. Doesn't really look like a snake, like a black tube of some sort.
Yeah. Where's that? I'm gonna grab that cavalry sword and try to take a hack at it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Doc.
Why don't you go ahead? Let's see. Cavalry sword does 1d8 plus damage bonus, but it's also on Archie's leg. So I think you should, do you should do it with a penalty dice. Make sure you
Okay.
don't cut Archie's leg off.
Okay. Well. Oh, hold on. I gotta spend the luck. That's all right. I'm gonna spend 13 luck to make that a hit.
Okay. You bring the knife
That
down.
wasn't very close.
You bring the knife down gently enough to where you're not going to cut into Archie's leg. But when you do,
My eyes go huge.
this shadowy black tube that's coming out from under the stairs, you hit it and you seem to injure it because it suddenly rears back up. And when it rears back up, the end of it opens up and it's like a little round mouth with teeth all the way around it, like a remora. And then it immediately retracts into the shadows. And you can see that Archie's leg is now bleeding where it been a hold of him. Archie, from your experience, it was pretty strong. It grabbed a hold of you like a full-grown adult grabbing a hold of you.
What's the damage situation?
You're bleeding. You'll
Okay.
need some some first aid, at least to stop the bleeding.
Okay, yeah, I'll hold my leg and whimper.
As far as I know, nothing mystical or crazy happened over there.
Yeah,
Archie
same
just fell and
here.
hurt
Didn't see
himself
it.
because I didn't see anything at all. So I'm still digging away at the claim,
Failed
Okay.
my listen.
Trying to
failed my
move.
spotted.
trying to move the shelf.
You've gotten it. You've gotten it.
I don't know what's going on. I got the saber in my hand. Just back up into a corner. I don't. It's some kind of snake, like one of those lamprey eels or something. I don't know.
A
I don't know.
snake.
And I just back up into the corner.
I got bit.
Maybe there are
Yeah,
rats
get away from
or
there.
something down
Yeah.
here.
Something
Great.
bit me.
So there's a snake down here with us. Great.
Does anyone have a bandage or a handkerchief that hasn't
the
been pressed to my face for the past 5 hours?
The handkerchief's all bloody with mine. I don't think you're gonna want that.
Oh, well, okay.
Might all have
Wait.
handkerchiefs in the 1920s.
Oh yeah, here.
Oh, you can use if you have to. You can use mine.
Thank you.
You've gotten it now to where you think that with some force, you can
Yeah.
move the shelf, and you can see that it'll move kind of away from you.
All right.
Why don't, let's see who's doing it. Ashton's doing it mostly. So Ashton, do you have a strength roll?
I have a strength roll. It's not good, but I have one.
I can assist.
Don't worry, I can spend 13 points of luck to pass. It's a popular luck spending number.
I mean, if I finish patching up my leg or tying a handkerchief to my leg, I'll come over and use my noodle arms to great effect.
Okay. Archie, As you are struggling there on the ground, something whispers in your ear. I'm going to text you.
Great.
It's just this very faint loser.
All right. So did you do it?
Yes, I spent 13 luck and I did
Okay.
it.
So you've managed to push it back, and you can definitely see that there is a door behind the shelf.
There's a door.
Ah,
It is a secret passage.
It would have been mostly buried in the ground, but you've uncovered the door.
I would like to open it.
and I'll help if any help's needed.
All right. You reach for the door, and suddenly, from across the room, the saber, which was in William's hand a moment ago, suddenly lifts itself up and starts heading directly towards Archie.
Oh, hey, look out!
Oh, shit.
Great. Can I dodge?
Yes.
Well, attempt to dodge.
Something seems to be trying to kill Archie for some reason.
Okay, so that is a pass.
Okay. So you manage to get out of the way just in time as the thing jams itself into the wall right next to your head.
Does it make that knocking noise? Yeah.
William, just in the nick of time, you also notice there is a knife that is moving steadily towards you through the air in an attempt to stab you. Go ahead and do a dodge roll.
Ooh, yes, pass. Okay.
Okay, so you manage to either knock it out of the way or it misses you.
I'm gonna grab two handfuls of those shells and just kind of fling them in the direction of where that knife is and see if like they bounce off anything.
Nothing. It just your throw
Ugh.
just throws them.
Is it sand roll time? I feel like it's
Yeah, you can do sand rolls.
I think it's about time for that, for me at least. And that's a fail. Yep, definitely a fail.
All right. Ashton, as you once again reach for the door, this voice, you can hear it near your ear as if somebody was whispering. And as you turn to look, there is a black tube with a mouth that's hovering there right next to your head, and it's talking to you, and it suddenly pulls away into the shadows.
Well, if I had my same amount of starting sanity as I did, I would have passed that, but I lost some, so I didn't.
Right. I think since you've seen the thing right next to your head, you can do you said you didn't pass your sanity. Well, I do a 1d6.
Yeah, that's
Since
especially with what it told me. Yeah, I'm a little freaked. Oh, that was 6.
Oh,
You know, I'm the one rolling the sanity rolls when that happens.
I'm right behind you too. You're going to kill me.
1 pass intelligence roll coming up. Yep, that was an 11. That was mad this time.
Dr. Alexander, you were right behind him. You can do a spot hidden too to see if you saw it.
Spot hidden. Incredibly observant. Oh, nope, not 72.
All right, so it was just a shadow to you. 1d8.
8, 3.
Okay. And a 1d4.
1.
What do you see,
Okay.
Ashton? What do you see?
When you see it, you
What do your Blackwood eyes see?
you violently jerk away from it, and you put your body up against whatever's behind you, and you want to scream, you want to cry, but all that comes out of your mouth is hysterical laughter because your mind just can't quite comprehend what it
Ashton,
is.
but
Because
what?
of me? You're gonna kill them all because of me? I'm a distant relation. My last name's not even Black.
Ashton, get a hold of yourself. What are you saying?
It doesn't know what it's talking. I'm a distant relation. I'm not a Black.
What's talking to you, Ashton? Snap
I'm
out
already
of
doing
it,
this
man.
for 9 rounds.
Oh, wow.
Because that's how my luck with Sandy goes.
I try to give him a slap on the face just to snap him out of it.
It's not going to save you, doctor.
Which is what psychologists did back then.
Oh yeah.
Pull yourself together.
You could do a psychoanalysis
Okay.
if you can bring him down. But
Oh my God. Oh, 1. That's the 4th. Oh, this is wow. Okay.
Big day for
So-
Stuart.
all right.
How many lottery tickets do you have shoved in your bag of holding?
So Dr. Alexander tries to talk you down, Ashton, which will cut your thing in half. So we'll say
Can't breathe.
down to 4 rounds. We'll say you're down to 4 rounds.
It's
William,
gonna kill everybody.
what are you doing at the moment?
Yeah, so with that failed sand roll, what was the hit there? I missed that.
You have failed your sand roll. What was it? What did you fail it for? Oh, the knife.
Yeah,
Just a 1d4.
1d4 you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time to head into that room there. You know, find something more enclosed if we can find it. I'm sick of this.
Oh, it's a very hospitable guest you'll find. It's very hospitable host.
All right.
Let's ring and put it on that guy's finger.
So, you get to the door and you push it open. It's a little tricky because there's still bits and pieces of shell on the ground, and it's a pretty tight fitting door. But you scrape across the floor and you can see inside there is a room that is only about 5 feet deep and about 5 feet wide. It's square. It's also only about 5 feet high. So the door is just big enough. Inside the room, it's completely bare. You don't see any evidence of dust, but there is something imprinted in the floor, something sort of carved into the floor.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah,
Also, right above the circle in the floor, there are 3 holes that are shaped like 6-sided stars, like drains or something like that. This is another sort of.
I'm gonna do that fingernail trick with the, like I did with the drain. Is there dried blood on the inside of those?
You're going to stick your fingers in the holes. Okay. You move over to where the holes are. Do a dodge roll.
I am 1 point away from indefinite, by the way. Ooh, and that's a very big fail. I don't even have enough luck to fix that one. So
Okay. As you sort of approach the holes, you're looking down at them. Your hand is maybe moving towards them. Suddenly, coming up out of the holes are numerous tubes, tentacles, whatever you might want to call them. They're black. Each one of them ends in a lamprey-like mouth with multiple teeth. They rise up and they lunge towards you. You did your dodge. They're going to grab a hold of you. Let's see how many actually manage. Okay, two of them grab a hold of you, one leg and one arm, and you are gripped. They wrap themselves around and they bite into you. The other ones are writhing around, getting ready to try and grab you. The rest
I
of
told
you.
you.
Do I see
I
this?
told you it was a host. I told you it was a hospitable host.
I was right at the door. Do I see this happening? Can I
Yes.
run in and try to wrestle them free?
Yes, you see them. And as you are getting ready to dive in and do that, these little mouths start to talk. You're all going to die. You're all going to die. It's just a matter of time.
Get these things off me!
That's a sand check, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you can do that. First, I'm going to tear you all apart one by one, but I'm leaving. I'm leaving the Blackwood for the last.
And
I'm not even a Blackwood.
Yeah.
My last name's Clark.
I guess I see this stuff before, so I'm fine. I pass my exam.
Okay. Well, I think that you could probably still take a 1d4 for
1d4 with pass. You got
What's a fail?
it. Oh, God.
fail.
Yeah.
Let's do a 1d8 on that.
Okay. Ooh,
Then
7.
7. And then do an intelligence roll.
Yeah, that puts me over the 1/5 total.
Okay. Well, that just means you're going to have psychological help when you leave.
Don't worry.
If
Don't worry.
you leave.
I didn't pass the intelligence roll.
Okay. So you've
I am the
probably
dumbest architect ever. It's great.
you've probably freaked and run back the rest of it. All right. So William, the grip of this thing is really strong. And it's cackling in your face, and it's already trying to kind of pull you apart, but it's trying also to get other limbs. It's going to attempt to get one of your other limbs. You can try to see if you can dodge it.
Am I trying to dodge or am I trying to strength it away?
I think you're trying to dodge, and then we'll have Dr. Pennyworth is trying to help you.
Yeah. If there's anything I can.
I have enough luck. Okay, I'm going to spend another 11, another 12 to get a success on that. And that puts me down pretty low.
Okay. So you managed to avoid it grabbing a hold of you, another limb. Dr. Alexander, you need to make a brawl roll to see if you can grab a hold of one of these things and try to pull it off.
Oh, yeah. Psychology. That's brawling is my specialty.
Yeah, all the
Another
slapping.
In another lifetime. No, complete failure, like hard fail.
Okay. In that case, do a dodge.
That's my other great talent of, oh my God, wow. 007 again.
You've got magic dice this week.
I've never rolled this good in so many games.
It just means that you managed to avoid it grabbing a hold of you.
Okay.
It's trying to. And its little mouths are taunting you and saying nasty things to it. Do an intelligence roll, Doctor.
Oh, great.
It probably has the ring. It thinks it's so smart.
64 intelligence, 65. I just make it. So that's bad, I'm guessing.
Okay. From the little taunts that it keeps giving you, it seems to think that Ashton is a Blackwood, but it also thinks that you're a Blackwood.
No, it wouldn't make any sense. Those stories, my grandparents, this can't be. What are you talking about?
Archie, you've run back into the room, back towards the stairs. Do a dexterity roll.
Okay, that's a pass.
Okay. You get to the bottom of the stairs and you start to climb up and you start banging on the door, and you just don't have the strength to push whatever it is the thing pushed in front of the door. But you don't trip and fall. You don't injure yourself in any way.
That's good.
Ashton, you're starting to come out of it, but you're seeing what's going on in front of you. And as soon as you come to your senses, one of these black tentacles moves straight towards your face, and it says, "Listen, Blackwood, I'm getting my revenge for everything you've put me through." And it's so soul destroying is that you don't know what to do. But the thing seems to think that you're a
Blackwood. Well, it's really trying to me. Does the symbol on the floor mean anything to me?
Do an occult roll.
24 is a hard success.
It corresponds with what you'd think that Milton Blackwood must have done, because it's a kind of a spirit trap. And since it's actually carved into the stone, it's meant to be permanent. But it must be tied to the ring.
Right. But where's the ring? Oh my gosh. That's what I still want to try to find it. That's our best shot.
All right. So you're going to scramble back and start sifting through the shell?
Yep.
All right.
And I'll taunt back a little bit. Just like you're.
All right. The black tentacles continue taunting you. It's like they'll say things like, "I'm going to kill them all first and make you watch, just to teach you a lesson. Says you'll never find the ring. You'll never find it."
And I said, "Well, if you're so clever, then why'd you let a good old Milton trick you in the first place, huh?"
It probably says the equivalent of "fuck you." All right, so you're doing that. William, you're still being held.
Have I been able to wrestle any of that free from him yet?
Well, let's do that then. Dr. Alexander, do a maneuver, a brawl roll again.
All right, here we go. No, of course. Not of course. It's 83. Yeah. No.
All right. Do a dodge roll.
Oh God. Oh God. Okay, no, the dice are spread.
So you didn't pass that one?
No. It's an 04. It's my sixth single digit.
You have magic dice.
I've never. This is crazy.
It's true. You really haven't had this good luck.
I've had horrible, like the last 5, 6, maybe dozen games. It's been bad. But
something wants you to stay alive, I guess. William, you have the opportunity to try to break free or to try and attack the thing, or what would you like to try and do?
Yeah, I think he's at this point he's just trying to fight for his life. So I'm just gonna start swinging at him or grabbing and biting and clawing.
Okay. You can do Okay, you said you're going to fight with him. Yeah, go ahead. I'll see what I get. How'd you do?
He's 45. All right, I'm going to spend the 1 luck to get it. It was 46, and I have 45. Luck down to 18. Okay, and then let's roll for damage. 2 plus 1d4. Okay, that's 5.
5 points of damage.
Yep.
Okay.
This damage bonuses, I've never played a character with any of that. I usually use strength as a dump stat, so that's nice. I like that damage bonus.
All right. You can tell that the creature can be injured, though you don't know how tough it actually is. You definitely can damage these tentacle things.
We can hurt it. Just grab the sword, grab that hoe, grab the shovel. Let's take this thing out. It's gonna kill me.
Ashton, do a luck roll.
I think I've been spending all this time. Yes. Oh, 29. That's a pass.
Okay. You are looking through the rubble and something catches your eye. You almost sweep it aside, but what you see is this.
I will never snatch anything up so quickly and put it on my finger ever again in my life.
Okay. You reach for the ring and very quickly you jam it on your finger. And all of a sudden, William, as you're lying there, this thing lets go and retracts down into the holes.
Get away from him, you bitch.
Everything suddenly goes silent except for your heavy breathing and
me pounding on the door.
And Archie pounding on the door and crying like a little girl. But after a few moments, Dr. Alexander and William and Archie, you don't know what's happened, but Ashton, nothing's happening. I mean, it's
move the thing out of the way. Let us out.
There's a few moments, and suddenly you hear something huge moving upstairs. And Archie, the door suddenly flies open. Do a dex roll.
Yeah, it's a pass.
Oh. All right.
So I fall forward, right?
You don't fall forward flat on your face. You fall forward, but you manage to.
Oh no, I'm definitely falling forward flat on my face.
All right. You're suddenly in the house, and you can see that what was moved was like the big, heavy cutting board table thing, but it's shoved over to the side, and you're suddenly free. And the rest of you are also free.
I am scrambling.
Yeah, I'm getting the hell out of there.
Yeah, we're right behind you.
Okay. So some of you need medical attention. Some of you managed to get it. You're not sure if, well, let me ask you, is there anything you can do to help Arthur?
We can, the body, and well, if any of the law enforcement that comes to get the body, see what we've seen.
Well, not anymore.
Well, then you do have the body.
What this looking at the body, is there anything that indicates the way that she was killed that might help clear Arthur?
Looks like she was torn limb from limb. Kind of the way you were about to be.
And does that look like something that a person could do by themselves?
Probably not. It also, you found evidence that he was out there chopping
Died,
wood.
and she was.
He
Yeah.
must have heard her screaming and dropped what he was doing and come running. She must have been in the middle of cooking.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
definitely tell him our story, and I have an odd feeling that I'm quite a lucky man now.
Yeah, why don't you
I
tell
think
them?
things will go our way, or my
sure.
way at least.
As long as you're near this place, though.
You've got. Oh, you've got the ring. And
In
you're.
any case, that's the end of our story.
Uh,
All right.
Oh,
You guys did pretty good.
just have the beastie give all the policemen collecting the body a little nibble.
Just have it pop out and say
a little bit, and then put it back on.
Feed me Seymour.
Seymour.
So
It's a fun
You-
twist
you-
on the Corbett thing. John killed it.
you probably get the gist of exactly what happened. The detail is this. The ring had been passed down from generation to generation, and Arthur had it on his finger to keep from getting it snagged when he was chopping wood. He took it off and he set it down, and the thing got his wife. He grabbed a hold of the ring probably and put it on, ran back inside, but in the process, he dropped it on the floor, and the creature buried it because the creature didn't want him to ever find it again. The creature was going to slowly pick off the Blackwoods until they were all done, but it would pick off anyone who was with the Blackwoods first, just to horrify them and demoralize them and everything else. So it went for William and Archie at first, and then Alexander, and eventually would have killed Ashton.
I went online and looked up like the way that like CSI type stuff was done back in the day, and the checking the drains and all that. That's what got me, doing
That
the
was, that was actually pretty good.
I gotta check for blood. Oh, there's just teeth in here. That's
a bunch of lamp.
nice.
Well, let me go ahead
feel
and
hints
No
of
blood, just
saliva.
tentacles.
let me go ahead and finish up, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Will Logston, Stuart Lively, and Brian Daly, with yours truly as a keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. There's a link below. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. We have a new patron. Kyle Gallo is pledging a whopping $15 a month to our show. Thank you so much. If you would like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. Leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.